it's Valerie Ling here. I'm a clinical psychologist. I'm also the director and founder for the Center for Effective Living. I wanted to bring you a story about something that taught me a lesson this week, and that is in the span of 12 months, the Center for Effective Living has effectively eaten through 4 printers. 4 printers. These are not mini printers, right? These are probably as top end as you can get with the sort of economical packed office printers that we have, right? As top of the line as we could get. The next stage really is to look at those sort of commercial printers that are big. Now, I don't like them because they take up an awful lot of space and, in my mind, encourage lots of paper consumption. But yes, effectively we have worn through 4 printer scanners. And the conversation with my very able administrative team went something like this. This one didn't last 3 months. What's wrong with printers these days? Why aren't they making printers the same way that they used to? One was even really surprised that we had paid that much money for a printer, because the way that the printer was functioning, probably had thought that it was, one of those $30, $40 ones that you can get. So the first thought was, why aren't they making printers the way that they used to? My thought was, what are we doing wrong? Is it the way that we're using the printer? Is it because we are bashing it around somehow? I thought, surely that's not possible, because these printers don't even have USB ports. They don't have USB ports. We don't even use a cable. Everything is sent through, through the space of Wi-Fi and whatever. So, are we doing something wrong with the printers? No, I don't think we're doing something wrong with the printers. And as I started to reflect, what on earth is going on with our printer story? Because, what's happening? It occurred to me that the poor printers were being worn out, because although the technology has really evolved in the connection space and the eco-tank space, well, guess what? The hardware hasn't, right? We still have these rollers that the paper goes through, and then order the gears, and then it comes out the other way. These are all physical hardware issues that really haven't changed that much. And it occurred to me that what was happening is that the volume in our practice had gone up. The speed and efficiency by which we could now send things to the printer had increased, right? And the poor printer hardware probably just wasn't keeping up. And I started to reflect on this a little bit as a bit of an example, a parallel. The word, is it metaphor or analogy? I can never remember. Analogy. What I think happens to us, particularly during this time of year. Who here feels like their poor body is weary and worn down at the moment? Who here feels like they've aged a decade just keeping up with the pace of this period? Me. Definitely. And here's the thing. Unless you know something I don't, our bodies haven't quite evolved to the point where our hardware has morphed into a superior model of what we were 15, 20 years ago, let alone being able to keep up with the pace that we have right now. Shopping is done online, stores are open a lot later, communication gets pinged, I don't know about you, but I now have 4 ways of text messages that people can contact me on, and I've actually tried to delete the vast majority of them, but then I miss out on communication because that's just not the way people communicate anymore. And much like the poor printers in our practice that haven't been able to keep up, our bodies can also feel the weight and the grind of the pace for which we just can't keep up. So what I really hope to encourage us all to do, myself included, and thank you to the 4 printers that sacrificed itself in the line of duty so that we could have this thought, is to really pay attention to your physical cues. Sounds so simple, but you know what? When you've got the phone going, the TV blasting, the Thermomix going, and I don't have one, by the way, I just like to pretend that I have one, the whatever going, we just do not connect with how the body is feeling. Right down to your little toe. How's your little toe doing? Has it been squashed up in those shoes for 24 hours? Well, okay, we don't wear shoes for 24 hours, but is it looking a bit weary and squashed? How are your eyes looking? How are your muscles doing? Do you need to sit? Do you need to actually slow down your pace as you're moving from the door to the car? Paying attention to our physical body and the hardware, and not really being cross with ourselves or expecting that we've had some kind of upgrade, unless you know the secret to that, and pacing, pulling back, and you know what, communicating to others as well. I don't think I can actually meet those expectations, or I don't think I can actually go faster or do more or squeeze that one more thing into that corner, because I think my body is pretty much at capacity to deal with this. Have a compassionate couple of days into this period, and just like my printer, whom I gingerly removed from the office because I now felt compassion for it, because clearly just burnt and fried the poor machine. Gingerly placed it in my care for some tender loving care to take it back to its manufacturer for some servicing. How about we do the same? Take care.